Welcome to Lagged Out, the official podcast of the Damn Lag. This is Steve Bogda, your host. I'm here with Ricky Pearson.
Ricky.
Thanks, Rick. I'm here with Genki as well.
What's up?
And Jared Clean, author of a really good Silent Hill 2 article that came out a week ago that you all should all read. Right, Jared?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Plugging his article and either of ours,
Thanks for not plugging my article.
Yeah, that article. That one that doesn't exist. Anyway, this week's games, we're covering Bastion and Super Metroid. But before we get into that, Tokyo Game Show just happened. Bunch of crap. Well, it's currently going on as of the time of this recording, and a bunch of stuff happened. But we're going to cover the 3DS and the Vita, primarily the 3DS conference. Genki, this is your cue to bitch and moan.
Oh, goody! I get to bitch and moan
about the 3DS conference.
Yeah. And that, well, okay, it was not as bad as I expected. I was expecting a lot more emphasis on that new slide pad, or at least a new...
Well, I think that was the point, to not put emphasis on that. That's why they kind of just snuck it out in the middle of the night.
No, I think there was supposed to be an emphasis on it because at least 4 or 5 games are going to come out using that thing, like pretty serious games, and it's possible that Kid Icarus was delayed because they're going to make it utilize that slide pad. And
Is that why it was delayed? Because it got delayed a year.
It got delayed a couple times, but it was supposed to come out this year, and it got delayed again. And some rumors are going around that they're delaying it because they want to use that second slide pad on it to make the game control better.
Yeah,
which
I
makes
just imagine it just controlling terribly right now. They have no idea how to fix it, and they just are going to take this crappy peripheral and see what they can do with it. Man, that peripheral looks so bad.
It does, and I think that's
so
why they didn't show it, because
it's to the right of the screen, so it's all the way to the right, so far to the right of the screen, the extra analog stick. You're just going to be turning from I don't know how it's going to work. It's so bad.
It's in a bad spot because it makes more sense if it's underneath the buttons, but to be directly on the right-hand side of the buttons, it's such a weird spot to put it for any game that you're going to play with it,
Supposedly, it feels really comfortable. At least that's what people are saying.
Of course, that's what they say about all Nintendo stuff.
That's what they said about the 3DS, and it was terrible. Well, the Wii U pad did feel good, dude. You didn't feel it. I liked it. But the 3DS, even when I felt it at E3 2010, I was thinking, this is terrible. This is hurting the corners of my index fingers. It was just, I don't know what they were thinking. So
I think you're a big baby because it doesn't feel like painful to me at all.
Hey, well, everyone else disagrees on the planet, so I'll take my
I mean, it is that way for the D-pad, but everything else feels fine.
Jared, opinions on the 3DS slide?
It's pointless, just like the 3DS.
Thanks, man. Rick?
Well, I think no matter where you put it, it's gonna look ugly.
Yeah, there's no way you can add an extra analog stick.
Yeah, it's not gonna look good at all. It's
clearly a rush job.
Well, I don't know if. Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess it is a rush job. But I mean, I bet they've had it. They've had the concept to it since probably even before the Vita came out. But it looks terrible. It looks terrible, and it doesn't I haven't used it at all, but it doesn't look comfortable. So
I just imagine them looking at after the Vita comes out, and then Nintendo just kicking themselves, thinking, "All right, how did we forget to add a second analog stick?"
Well, I mean, they didn't forget anything. They were just overconfident entirely. They overpriced. They didn't think they had to put a second stick or really put any real effort into it.
Or software.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't release a $250 handheld with the nearest big release being a re-release of a 13-year-old game. That's not as planned for success.
It worked for you, so.
I don't think they were trying to be cocky about it. I think that it was just because they were rushed to get it out. They had a lot of factors pushing them to get this thing out as fast as possible. So they went with it instead of taking the time to make it look good, to make it work correctly and just be an overall sound product, they just shoved it out the door. And now it's really come back to bite them.
Well, I mean, you can say that about the software and the design and all of that, but overconfidence is the only excuse for that price.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's getting a press cut, isn't it?
It already did.
A huge one.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
It was the largest, but I think it was the largest price cut in terms of percentage for any
it's not like that
handheld
cost
ever.
them anything. I mean, why not release it overpriced?
Yeah.
And then, people are still going to buy it. People buy it, the initial... Yeah.
But
they
people...
made so much money off of the initial price.
Not enough people bought it, that's the thing. And now that they've lowered the price, who's going to buy that now?
Well, I mean, who's selling it? I mean...
Well,
I don't know. I think they're going to be alright.
Their sales have increased 200% since they did.
I think the 3DS is going to be perfect. Perfectly fine.
Yeah, as soon as they release a normal version, a new version with that's thinner, with an analog stick and the improved buttons on the edges, it'll be fine. Everyone will forget this all happened.
How about when they release some games I want to play?
When does Snake Eater come out? 3DS?
That's 2012, it looks like.
Why would you want to get Snake Eater?
So that's the only game that's interested me in.
Really? Yes. You're not interested in Mario at all, or Luigi's Mansion 2?
Played it.
Wait, you played the
I played
Mario
Brothers
3D Land. You played Luigi's Mansion 2.
If you played one Mario game, you played every Nintendo game.
Oh, so then you haven't played Metal Gear Solid 3 before. That must be why you're excited.
That logic doesn't work for that though, because this is different because it's 3D now.
Oh, okay.
Which makes a great point.
Okay.
It's 3D now, so that's a difference. Nah, in all seriousness, though, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater does look awesome for the 3DS, but, I mean, I'm excited. I played Super Mario 3DS, and it was great. Just the idea of making 2D levels with a little bit of depth to them adds a whole new layer of possibilities. It felt great. It felt like a Mario game that works. So, and Mario games sell. A new Mario game on a handheld always sells. I mean, look at New Super Mario Bros. That's like the 4th or 5th most selling game of all time.
That's a great game.
Yeah, fantastic game. And so they're gonna do it's gonna do the exact same thing. As soon as a new Mario game comes out, the 3DS is gonna sell like hotcakes. It'll be fine. But as far as the rest of the games go, the problem is they keep delaying things. I mean, Snake Eater has been in development since before, like, the Nintendo press conference in 2010, so it's been a while that these games are taking to develop. The thing is, though, that each of these games, each time they show them, they look so much better than the last time we saw them. Kid Icarus 3DS, when we first saw it, looked terrible. I'm not going to lie. I was like, okay, it's a Pit game. I don't really care for Pit. It's a 30-year-old game almost. And then they showed it again at this conference, and it looked fantastic. Well, at least visually it did, comparative to what we saw last time, which was horrible. At least in my opinion. I mean, did you guys think Kid Icarus looked good in 2010? Or even I played it at E3 and it didn't look nearly as well. It didn't play nearly as well.
I think
as I thought it would.
The only reason most people care about the new Kid Icarus game is that before, they all think that it's been a long time since a Kid Icarus game has come out, but they've never played the original Kid Icarus at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the idea of a game hasn't had a sequel for a long time getting a sequel.
It's the idea that, hey, look, it's another Nintendo mascot. Let's see what we can do with it. I mean, the new Kid Icarus takes none of the old Kid Icarus's like gameplay mechanics, so it's just basically a whole new IP.
It looks, when it first was announced and they showed some footage, it looked interesting, and then I saw more about how the game controlled, and I got less and less interested in it.
It's like Star Fox, but with wings. At least one part.
Well, the controls for when you're on the ground and you have to move around, the way that you attack and control the camera and all that stuff at the same time, it just sounded so cumbersome because it didn't have a second thumbstick, which is another reason why I think that's probably why it was delayed, because those battle portions are going to work so much better with a second thumbstick to move that camera around.
as someone who cares though about story and dialogue and things that people seem to brush off when evaluating games, Kid Icarus had some terrible dialogue. Just ruined the game while playing it. Like the over-the-voice narrations were so bad. It just ruined my experience whenever I played it at E3. Was PAX East, I guess. It just wasn't that fun.
I don't like Nintendo ever doing dubbing. And,
it never works out. Whenever
it never.
Wait a minute. You're telling me?
Make you want to wait a minute.
Star Fox 64 didn't have classic.
That game's terrible. No.
What?
That game didn't have good dialogue.
That game has classic
shit that became memes.
That is a classic voice acted Nintendo game.
There's a difference between memes and dialogue, Genki.
I'm not talking about just for its memes. Like, it had meme phrases in it, but...
Alright, if someone says meme again, I'm gonna actually barf. And then onto my keyboard, I'm not gonna be able to do this podcast.
Me.
Alright, honestly, stop it.
Oh, you want me to stop something now? Oh, okay. Well, I should just do that because, you know, you would do that for me,
because
right?
I kindly asked. No. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's roll it back. Let's roll it back. Okay. All right. Star Fox 64 wasn't a good game. People are caught up in the nostalgia, and it's really embarrassing because that game was freaking terrible. And I was a really cool 11-year-old, so even back then I knew how bad it was.
Are you serious right now?
It's not good. It's not. There's nothing fun about that game. It looks terrible visually. It has a stupid story. No, it's terrible.
What are you talking about? How is that
It's not even
okay,
fun
let's
to play.
let's not even talk about the story or the dialogue, just the gameplay.
Yeah, because that would.
You did not enjoy.
That's a counterpoint to your point.
Are you seriously saying that the game was not a fun game to play?
The gameplay was terrible. Terrible.
What are you talking about?
Okay, I don't want to do barrel rolls.
I'm in the minority thing. I guess minority thing. Star Fox 64 was pretty overrated. The Super Nintendo one was great.
I don't think that's a minority. I don't.
You think the majority of people that don't think they get past the
No, I think people think it's
phenomenon.
Good, I think people think it's good because they're told it's good, and then they don't.
No, I think it's good because I really enjoyed playing as a kid, and I enjoy playing it now. Okay. And every other Star Fox game they make is absolutely terrible because it's not nearly as good.
That's an embarrassing opinion. That's what I'm saying. It's a terrible game.
Yeah, I played Star Fox 64 on 3DS. I didn't really like it. I just going back and realizing it made me realize how much I didn't really like.
No, it aged terribly, but then it wasn't that good even to begin with. So
I guess it was fun as a kid who just liked shooting things, but now as someone now, as an adult, it doesn't really do anything for me. Even then, it didn't do much for me. I guess.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the shoot 'em up genre. Like Dodonpachi and shit like that.
But yeah, I guess I'm not insulting the genre.
But no, that's what I'm. Well, that's the thing. That's not part of that genre. There's so many better games.
The Super Nintendo one was better. We could all agree on that. Just the added dialogue and the added narrative.
I'm not even a fan of that one.
The 64 one was practically the same game.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, exactly. It's practically
how
the
are you
same
saying?
game.
How can you say the Super Nintendo version was better?
Level design was better. What do you want from me? Do you want me to go in? I don't have an analysis point by point of my Star Fox opinion on paper here.
Okay, Steve, you told me you're gonna have that for the podcast.
I'm sorry, dude.
We waited 2 minutes for that.
You said you'd be prepared, so.
Guess I'm not prepared. I didn't know we were gonna have a debate about Star Fox.
Just
I can't believe this is even a debate. I cannot believe it. It's
unfathomable.
Okay, can you honestly not believe that?
You all care
cannot.
far too much one way or another about Star Fox.
I have never heard anyone ever say that Star Fox 64 was a bad game. Ever. Never heard that before.
Okay, well, excuse me the hyperbole.
What kind of games do you like if you don't like Star Fox 64?
This is now changing.
My favorite game is Metal Gear Solid for the 3DS.
Okay, because of the 3D and
that's my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
Good pick. It's well respected. It has a great legacy.
Yeah, it got an average of 9 out of 10.
9.2, I thought it was.
The 3DS version? Wow.
Yeah, if you go to Metacritic.
Yeah, Yeah.
Good website. We're making great points here. I mean, besides, how do I segue out of this shit?
Well, anyway, the rest of that conference at the 3DS conference, since that's what we were talking about, wasn't too bad, despite the fact that they didn't show off any details on the slide pad.
We got all those details like an hour later after the press conference, so I'm not gonna destroy them.
But that wasn't a part of the presentation. The presentation's the big part.
Do you really need to be spoon-fed a presentation? They could just release it. Like, they didn't have much to say about it. They basically said, like, here it is.
What's the point of the presentation?
Let's show off all the games. That was the point. They did it for Japan, because Japan was freaking out not buying the 3DS, and Nintendo freaked out and said, all right, we'll make an appearance at Tokyo Game Show for the first time in 4 years.
Wait, they weren't at the last year?
Dude, they haven't been there since they showed off the Wiimote.
They think they're too good for it, so they have their own Japanese show called Space World, or at least they used to.
Well, I don't think it's because they think they're too good for it. I think they just do it because Space World is their own thing. And this time they were just desperate, so they freaked out.
Stop white-knighting Nintendo, Steve.
Yeah. They think they're too good for everything.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
We can all agree with that.
Yeah, but I just thought it was funny, though, during their conference, some of the things that they were showing off, like, they were saying how the majority of 3DS owners are males, and their idea to get more of the female demographic is, clearly we need to come out with a pink 3DS.
Dude, that's gonna work.
What we want.
It's gonna work.
Oh my god, that's a great idea.
It's just funny that, you know, that was it. We just need a pink one, and they'll just eat it up. They'll eat up pink because it's a girly color.
No, women are really dumb. Like, I don't know if you've ever been around one, but honestly, that's seriously all you have to do.
Yeah,
well, we're that podcast now.
We are. Yes, we are. Yeah,
Genki, do you want to retort? To
that's just a joke, folks. That was just
a joke. Retort to the.
We'll get a dumb sound. We'll get a dumb sound and add it to the podcast for that joke, just so users know that it was a joke and Ricky isn't actually misogynistic.
No, I think it was for real, and he was misogynistic. So you should all hate him and send him hate mail.
I, for one, am very offended.
That's a different story for another podcast.
Yeah, we'll save that for
another
next
joke,
week.
Folks.
Dude, we'll use that as a plug for next week. Next week, find out about Ricky's parental past. It'll be great. Anyway, so yeah, what were we talking about, like Star Fox or something?
I think we were talking about the 3DS conference.
Yeah, dude. Luigi's Mansion looks whack. Not gonna lie. I don't wanna suck up Ghost in like a 4x4 box and just move from box to box. I thought they were gonna expand the levels, but instead just box to box, and it looks even smaller than it did in the original Luigi's Mansion. I don't understand why everyone has this obsession with Luigi's Mansion. I thought we all agreed it was like an okay GameCube launch game. Why is there an obsession with it? Because Luigi's never had a game before. Is he really that important of a side character?
Because, first of all, he doesn't get his own games very often. He's an awesome character that...
So we're rooting for an imaginary character.
People do it all the time.
Yeah, what?
Hello?
That's only part of the reason why. The other reason is that it was a fun game. It was a comedic, simple take.
Game. Liked it.
Yeah, it was a simple take. It was Nintendo's Resident Evil. It was Nintendo's...
What game are you guys talking about?
I wouldn't go that far.
No, it was.
Yeah, you on crack?
No, if you... No, you don't seem to understand. The game plays...
what game are you talking about?
Luigi's Mansion.
Okay, that game
I'm saying it's like Resident Evil.
I'm saying...
Okay, no, it's not.
Have you played the game?
This is retarded.
Have you played the game? It plays...
No, that was my GameCube came with it.
I distinctly remember I killed those zombies.
Have you played Resident Evil?
Yes, I've played both of those games.
Luigi's Mansion plays just like Resident Evil, and it was known that the creator of the game looked at Resident Evil as a reference for the game, like as an inspiration for the game. So people play that game.
So he looked at Resident Evil and took the worst part of it to put in the game?
Remember that part in Luigi's Mansion where Luigi headshots a zombie and his head explodes?
Remember in Luigi's Mansion where there's inventory management?
Yeah, I remember that part.
I'm talking about the gameplay. Come on, guys.
Like, you're just talking about the tank controls, right?
Inventory management
I'm talking about the the whole way the game was played, it was you're in
they're both in a mansion.
Can I finish what I'm fucking saying? Hold on a sec. Hold on. Just saying Luigi's Mansion is like Resident Evil because, yes, they both take place in a mansion, but they also both deal with, okay, in Luigi's Mansion, you're this guy, you're Luigi, you're running around the mansion trying to get rid of all these ghosts. In Resident Evil,
that's the premise.
Yes, and in Resident Evil, just a very basic summary of the game's premise is that you are going around this mansion trying to get rid of the zombies.
So it is the mansions.
So that's the whole point you've been trying to make the last 20 minutes?
Well, I understand that the theme and the tone and everything is similar. They're not really comparable. I can see how one was inspired by the other, but I wouldn't call it Nintendo's Resident Evil.
I say that because they both play very similarly to one another. They both have a lot of the same ideas, and even the game.
I don't think they have similar ideas though either. So.
Luigi's Mansion is a good game, guys. It's an okay game. Maybe it's not the best game in my opinion, but I mean, we're arguing about whether or not it takes cues from Resident Evil. We lost track of the argument of whether or not it was even a game that we should all be excited for a sequel of. And I don't think it really is. Not like I would buy a 3DS because I know Luigi's Mansion 2 is coming out for it. I like the idea of a Luigi's Mansion 2, but from what I've seen of it, it just seems like boring gameplay moving from one room to another. It doesn't really seem that fun or engaging. And from what I played before, it was very sluggish. So I'm just not that excited for it, except for the fact I think the reason why there's excitement for it is because there's this whole obsession with Luigi as a character. Yeah, he's a cool character. He's a nice little, affable sidekick, but I don't think it's anything to be that excited for. But another game for the 3DS that I am very excited for, we didn't get that much information for it, but it still was talked about a bit, was Smash Brothers on the 3DS. And now with the analog stick, which is a key addition for Smash Brothers, that would be amazing. A Smash Brothers done properly with a second analog stick on a 3DS.
I mean, that for scrubs maybe that needed to do their Smash moves.
Is this like the same as on the Wii where it's just like on a napkin, just an idea right now, or have they actually gotten anywhere with it yet?
Oh, I'm sure it's just on a napkin. They haven't touched it yet.
Because they're gonna really find games on a napkin. I thought they'd at least use computers or.
No,
it's the future now, dude. They're just gonna make games on napkins. I'm really excited about this new wave.
Well, did they announce napkins?
What didn't they announce like a bunch of crappy casual games too?
They announced a bunch of crappy girls casual games like Princess something or other, or Fashion something or other. Just fashion things because that's what girls like, and they will buy a 3DS system for.
They did announce a new Four Swords Anniversary Edition, and that's
well,
no, it's awesome. It'll be a free download, yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be the Game Boy Advance game that was like that add-on to A Link to the Past, and they're adding a few things to it, and they're expanding the single-player mode. But the cool thing about that game was the multiplayer, and the multiplayer is going to be wireless, but not, from what I've been able to tell, it's not going to be online. It's only going to be local.
Yeah, that doesn't sound that. If it was online, that would make the game.
It needed to be online because
yeah, of course, it's a multiplayer game. It needs to be online. Get it.
Who's gonna know anyone in their area that even has a 3DS anyway?
Oh, burn.
I don't.
So, out of all the games that were announced for 3DS, Paper Mario, or at least revealed, Paper Mario, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, the one I think we could all agree got us most excited, or at least mostly agree. We never agree on shit, but Mario Tennis.
Yes.
Yeah.
For that.
Yes.
That game's great.
If it's online, it will be great.
Well, let's be honest. Let's not assume that it'll be online. So let's not assume any Nintendo game.
Well, then I have no reason to get it.
Okay, so there it goes. Mario Tennis is off the table. If it's offline, fuck it, right?
Exactly, because that's why Star Fox 64 was off the table for me for my 3DS, because it doesn't have online multiplayer. And
why would you even want to play a Nintendo game online until they fix just their online connectivity?
Because Mario Kart on the DS worked fine. Monster.
Yeah, everyone says that. Yeah, it did. That game was fine, but
exactly.
I mean, it wasn't like the most involved. It's not like there was like leaderboards or ranking system that actually.
How involved do you need to be to?
A leaderboard and a ranking system and a general sense of community would do that.
It's Mario Kart. I don't care about leaderboards or rankings or anything.
But make it a bit more engrossing.
Well, I mean, it doesn't need. You don't need all that stuff for like Mario Tennis or Star Fox multiplayer. That's what I'm talking about. For their games, I have never cared about leaderboards. I really see absolutely nothing cool or fascinating about them.
Ricky, you hate leaderboards, right?
Okay, well, maybe because you've never been in the top of leaderboard. Because I mean, if I was average at everything, I wouldn't want leaderboard either.
No, I really just don't care about them. I never really tried.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if I wasn't good, I wouldn't care about leaderboards, and I wouldn't want them either, because it's really embarrassing to see yourself like really download, like see how many people are better than you. The whole world can see it. It sucks. I wouldn't win it either.
For a lot of, I mean, for some games it makes sense, but I don't see it for Mario Kart or Mario Kart. I'm sorry.
I think the racing genre is perfect. I mean, I've obviously fighting at the top racing games and like maybe RTSs. You know,
like
any
real racing games, but
yeah, Mario Kart big strategy though. I mean, sure you can play casually, but I mean, there's a hardcore following for Mario Kart.
Yeah. Mario Kart Online, if they had leaderboards, an actual ranking system, I would be on that like every time I go out, just have that game on me whenever fired up, ready to play. So yeah, if there was leaderboards, that changes everything. Just a general sense of community, that'd be so much better. We say it's just Mario Kart because we've never played it before, like online. We need to give it a shot, and I guarantee it'll be a good shot. Anyway, best part about the Nintendo press conference, TGS, by far, we talked about this, all of us individually, Skyward Sword, the affirmation that it's going to be a good game. There's always been like a sense of doubt behind it because we haven't seen that much of it.
Really?
And what we have seen has been a bit awkward. Really, you liked it maybe, but a bunch of people have been a bit apathetic about it, not worried about it. After yesterday, though, I think everyone's just excited for it.
I think that was just you, though. You were...
That was just me, the biggest Zelda fan in the world.
Yeah, because you told me the other day that you were, wary about it until...
That was a private conversation. That was a private conversation.
Yeah, well, now everyone knows about it.
Oh,
hey, Steve, can I say my favorite part of the Nintendo conference?
Yeah, sure.
When it was finally over.
No wonder we got you on here.
But let's not front. You said if Skyward Sword was for the Wii, you'd love it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah,
it's amazing. My only worry. It's for the Wii, and I really don't want to get a Wii.
That's my reaction to every Nintendo game on the Wii. I really wish it was on anything other than the Wii.
The lighting effects for it just made it look so much better. Just the art style popped out so much better. And so it proves to me that Zelda really won't work for a realistic setting.
No. Well, see, think of this. It's still going to be on a standard TV. It's not going to look good.
Yeah, I know. So. That's what does blow. I can't wait for Zelda HD. But just imagine Link, like, whenever he picks up an item, he holds it, but it's like 3 feet above his hands or something ridiculous. That would not look good realistically. It's why Twilight Princess looks so silly at points. I wish they, I like this. I want to say I wish they had proper voice acting, but I still don't think it would work. We've all agreed that Nintendo, whenever they try to do voice acting, it's terrible. And I think voice acting can get in the way of the storyline sometimes, especially in that case. So... It still looked awesome. The weapon upgradability, it gives you an incentive to actually kill the enemies, which you never really had before. Before, you just avoid the enemies, or if you killed them, you really didn't want to kill them. They weren't fun. Since the enemies look more engaging, and now they have an extra bit of engagement with this weapon upgradability stuff, it'll be great. It'll all be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Looking forward to it more than pretty much any other game this holiday season. Well, maybe that's not true. Battlefield 3 is still coming out.
Battlefield 3?
Yeah, can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about it. Oh, no, we got to move on from Nintendo now.
It's not out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we stop talking about Nintendo?
Yeah, the Vita.
I'm tired of that company.
We saw a lot of stuff from the Vita, Tokyo Game Show. But the big thing I want to talk about first is 3 to 5 hours of life. Battery life, not good. And it takes 2 hours and 40 minutes to charge from 0 to 100. That's not good.
Wait, what's battery life?
3 to 5 hours.
What the fuck? Wait,
yeah, I know, right?
Just playing games?
Yeah, gaming. That's 3 to 5 hours
what
for
about
gaming.
Movies and shit?
That's 5 hours. 9 hours of music playback.
Wait, so they said this at the conference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Their conference is really boring. At least during Nintendo's, it was full of games and interesting stuff. Meanwhile, Sony's conference for the Vita, the first maybe 2/3 of it was a bunch of slides, and it was like a big PowerPoint presentation. Like, oh yes, this is what you can do with this and that, and then they were like,
sound.
Exactly. Except put that in Japanese.
That's racist.
No, that's what they speak. They speak Japanese. They ain't racist. I'm black. I'm not racist. So.
Yo, blacks can't be racist, guys.
Exactly.
That's racist in of itself.
We got a president who's black. So
that's true.
I'm not racist.
Did you read that on Wikipedia?
Take that logic.
I took it.
Good.
Anyway, continue on.
So yeah, anyway, it was really boring because a lot of the information they put out really could have been put in the post-press release. I want to see the games. I want to see the handheld.
Weren't you just complaining about that, though, earlier?
Well, see, I was complaining about them not showing off, Nintendo not showing off the actual device. Instead, they put that in a press release later. That's what I want to see. I don't want to hear them talk about, oh, well, you know, this feature works this way, this feature works this way. Just show me stuff. And then they spent so much time talking about how the payment system is going to work for the 3G. They took so much time to explain that. And I feel like that could have been either said really quickly or they could have put it in a press release afterwards. But they spent so much time talking about all the technical stuff, and there were just so many words on screens instead of gameplay. And then when they finally got to the gameplay, it was all ports. There was almost no new game announcements for the Vita. It was all about, oh yeah, well, you know, this HD collection we're putting on the PlayStation 3, oh, it's going to go on this thing too. And they might as well call the freaking handheld the Port Station Vita, because that's all it fucking has. That's all it has.
That's brandable.
Well, I mean, their whole idea behind it is take your PlayStation 3 on the go, but I don't want to take my PlayStation 3 on the go. I don't want to play those games outside. I want to watch those on my huge, big screen TV.
Because you don't want to leave your house. And no?
When I leave my house, I want to do things other than play games.
No. Okay, you're not a real gamer then. When I leave my house to go to a party, I want to play my PS3 when I'm at the bar hanging out with my friends. And that's what Vita gives us. It gives us the possibility to play our PS3 when you're hanging out with other people.
But then they give us a bunch of PlayStation 2 games.
Okay.
That's all they're giving us. They're giving us HD Zone of Enders, HD Metal Gear Solid, HD Final Fantasy X.
Someone kick Genki.
Someone kick Genki's done with the podcast. No. Final Fantasy X, I think, is a game that I'd like to see remade. I don't understand why people are freaking out that it was Final Fantasy X and not Final Fantasy VII.
Just because...
I don't care about Final Fantasy... Yeah.
Really?
Well, for one, Final Fantasy X just isn't as well a remembered game. And for two, it's not as big a leap to go from 10 HD to 7.
It's easier of a leap. That's why they did it.
I don't think they're doing a full.
Well, it's not easier.
Remake,
it's just all right, if you put a high resolution of 7, it's still not going to look good. 10 with upscaled graphics, it's going to look good.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's easier for them to make.
Well, I don't think that makes it easier. I just think it's smarter.
Looks better.
No, it does make it. It does make it easier.
When people say a Final Fantasy VII remake, they don't mean just making it HD. They mean like new assets.
Yeah, I know.
the thing behind an HD 7 is it's going to take a lot longer. And they said, oh, it'll take us 10 years, which it probably would based on their development cycles for their games. But just 10, they don't have a lot of details on what this HD remake, quote unquote, for 10 is going to be.
Good point.
What that HD remake is going to be. If it's going to be just like what they're doing for all these other HD collections where it's upscaled, or not, just they make them look crisper. They give it better video quality, or if they're actually going to go back into those models and give them, more polys and make everything look a lot better, make it look next gen, or they haven't gone into details about that. And if it's the former rather than the latter, then they can put it out in an instant. But yeah, the reason why all these people are probably going to get upset over it if they haven't already is because all we ever hear about is remake Final Fantasy VII, remake Final Fantasy VII, and then they come out and they say, oh, we're remaking Final Fantasy X.
How dare they?
How dare they?
Well, 7's a good game. So.
Oh, 9's the better one.
They were both great games. I think.
Okay. I agree with you.
But I.
Write it down. Mark the time.
Oh my gosh! At 40 minutes in, or less, or 20 minutes, whatever.
Well, you guys both thought Super Metroid was a good game. Oh wait, Genki didn't play it yet. Anyway, so our old game of the week.
Yep.
Our old game of the week that we're doing this week is Super Metroid. Talking about to write an article about it. It's almost done. About to post an article, therefore, for that matter. It's analyzing the game, the development process.
Are you about to write an article about it? Or
I already did. It's almost done. It's going to be up probably around the time this podcast goes up. So yeah, I've been researching the development of the game. And first of all, when did you guys play it? You guys played it when it came out?
Yeah.
I played it when it came out and, later on.
Yeah, I played it years after, I guess when it came out, because it came out 94. I think I played around 98, 99, and I still loved it just as much.
It was the greatest game of all time on EGM's list. I'll never forget that list when that issue came out.
It's the only time that list was ever correct.
Yeah, that was a pretty good list. That was a pretty good list.
I mean, anything that has the balls to put Super Metroid at the top. And
I think it came out in 97. The EGM came out 2 lists, if I remember correctly.
I mean, it's just a perfect 2D platformer. At least it's my favorite 2D platformer.
Okay, well, I'll say this. It's great. It's perfect. I'd say it's perfect. But I think Symphony of the Night did it, and I think it did it just as well. And I liked the art design even more. So Symphony of the Night's on the same level to me.
That's one of the most frustrating things for me is how few people make those games anymore. Anything like them.
Well, Castlevania still makes the portable ones, which are...
Wait, Jared, you mean you didn't like Other M?
Don't get me started.
We could just make a podcast about how terrible Other M is as a game.
That would just be
we will at some point.
Yeah, dude.
That's sarcasm. Right.
We're gonna reverse our stance.
I really like that game, but okay.
You liked Other M?
Yeah.
You did.
I liked it for what it was.
What was it?
Terrible.
A bad game.
It was a different take on the Metroid universe. I liked it.
A bad take?
It was a Team Ninja sexist take on the Metroid universe.
Alright. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it, but you're not entitled to it.
Oh, okay. It's not like they put Samus in high heels.
That's why he loves it so much, is because it's so sexist.
No. You know what? That makes sense.
I'll admit it. I hate women. Alright, let's move on.
Well, that explains his opinion perfectly.
Speaking of women, the representation of Samus in Super Metroid. I'm gonna go with this. The representation of Samus in Super Metroid is my favorite part of the game. She's just absolutely a badass character.
That's your favorite part over the gameplay?
Oh, well, I guess my favorite story element of the game. I mean, the story is it's so subtle, and I appreciate subtle stories, especially in video games where they try and bang things over your head with story elements and plot details that don't really work. They don't even try in Super Metroid. They just subtly point at things. Like, you can make the connection that Samus hates Mother Brain. You don't need someone to like narrate a story, a background story for you and tell you why she hates Mother Brain. It's clear throughout the game. It's clear just in the way the music plays. That's one of the games where music tells the story, and that's all you need. It gives you an atmosphere, it gives you emotion, it gives you feelings, it gives you a sense of alienation. The music in Super Metroid may be up there with my top soundtracks if I had to make a list or something on the spot. It's so great.
All right, well, here you go. Here's your dream. On the spot, go. Top 5.
Soundtracks?
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be Zelda heavy.
Zelda 1?
No. Only you can only choose one game to represent every franchise. Go. 5.
Every soundtrack. Okay. Well then, number 1, Majora's Mask.
One game from one franchise. All right.
Majora's Mask, number 1.
Majora's Mask. Okay. That's your Zelda representation.
Yep, that's my Zelda representation easily.
Okay. Number is better, but okay.
It's a top 5 soundtracks. Ready from games. One. One, Super Mario Galaxy. 2, Majora's Mask.
No, wait. I thought Majora's Mask was number 1.
No, it changed.
Okay.
1, Super Mario Galaxy. 2, Majora's Mask. 3, Shadow of the Colossus. 4, Super Metroid. And 5, what's one more? You guys are going to hate me for this one. I don't give a shit, though. Kingdom Hearts.
Wait, why would I hate you?
Genki, edit that part out.
No. Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, edit that out. Right. Okay, that's embarrassing. Right.
Kingdom Hearts had a nice soundtrack. It was done by, wasn't that done by Nobu?
Maybe. Probably. Does it have Final Fantasy characters in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
No, it might not be. It might not be.
I don't think it actually is. I think it was different. I think it was the whole thing, why it sounded different. Yo, don't get me started. I might put Halo as my 5. Halo, the music in Halo is the best part. I won't do it.
Halo, I think ODST.
Oh, wait, no, what am I doing? Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid for my 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late. Your list has been spoken.
That's it. Stuck with me for the rest of my life.
Polls are closed.
Metal Gear Solid or Chrono Trigger. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid. Fuck it.
Oh, yeah. All right.
There you go. There's my top 5 soundtracks. You guys want to criticize it?
Top I do.
8 or 9.
I think, honestly, Silent Hill has some of the greatest soundtracks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
No, I know that. I was considering Silent Hill the entire time.
Like, I don't really listen to video game music, but I listen to Silent Hill soundtracks constantly.
The thing about Silent Hill, though, is the best songs are all spread out throughout the first couple of ones. There's not one specific one, unless you're going to go with Silent Hill 1.
Well, see, like, I don't know, Silent Hill 2 OST I can listen to all, like, start to finish. Always. And like, Silent Hill 1's a little bit more, like, it's not as fleshed out yet. Like, he doesn't, I don't know, the music's not as...
The thing is, the music also has to go well with the game. Like, I wanted to put Halo on it, but the Halo music is so much better than the game itself, I think. So,
it fits the tone, though. I mean, it does go well with the game. I
mean, I think I don't know if the Gregorian chant part does, but it still sounds great. It's Halo. It's attached to Halo. But I love the soundtrack. I don't know if it really matches well with the game, in my opinion.
It does.
At least from playing it. Okay, all right.
It does.
Cool.
Some of my best memories from that game, like the final sequences and the music that went along with them. It's just
but the final sequences are just awesome music playing in the background. I guess that's the only time where it really lines up. I don't like most of the level music. For example, the first thing that comes to mind is most of the levels in Halo 3 that didn't involve the main theme.
I think though,
if that main theme isn't playing, the rest of the music not as good.
I think the one that had the best music though was ODST.
Never played it.
It had this nice noir saxophone-y music, and it was just...
Halo Reach had the best soundtrack of all the games.
Never played it.
Halo Reach did have a great soundtrack too, but
that was the soundtrack that matched. I thought out of the most, it matched. Halo Reach matched the gameplay itself the most.
Halo Reach was actually good. You should play it.
Yeah. Ricky, you'd like Halo Reach. It's not like Halo 3 or Halo 3 ODS.
I have to get Xbox Live first. So.
That's right. I'll get on that. To the money pool.
To the money pool.
Well, it just goes to show, like, video game music is almost... I think it's It should be the main focal point for narratives in video games. Like, make sure the music lines up with whatever you're trying to portray. Don't over narrate it. Don't put too much dialogue in it. I mean, the weakest.
Well, what about a narrative overlay like Bastion?
Yeah, that's something that's completely different, though. Before we segue into Bastion, let's stick on Super Metroid. But what Bastion does reminds me a lot of Super Metroid. At least that's why I picked it. Just this ambiance feel to it. Obviously, the narrating is completely different. And that's nothing like anything else in any game you've ever played, dynamic narrating. And that's the best part about Bastion, in my opinion. But Super Metroid does something similar in that the music necessarily isn't all that memorable. I mean, there's the main Metroid theme is obviously memorable, but the rest of these songs are just great. Like, they just fit the levels and the chaos of parts so well. It just makes you want to keep playing.
They know to kind of step back and act more as atmosphere instead of being themes so much.
Yeah, they're not. It's not thematic. It's not motifs. It's more just here motives. It's just more. This is how you should be feeling, and we're going to portray that through the music. And then, because the music works so well, you feel that while playing the game. We haven't even talked about the gameplay, which is just flows so well, just flows so nicely and so neatly, and even some of the puzzle designs are really good. I mean, obviously there are some bad, like there's not bad parts, just parts that are annoying, like the glass tube. That part's so annoying. But then once you figure it out, you're set for every time you get to replay it.
Well, I mean, that gameplay loop of exploring a place to find a thing so you can explore more places to find more things is just really good to keep you going and interested while you're playing. And that's the thing that baffles me, is why more games don't do that. They all seem to be focused now on one very short moment of gameplay and repeating that as much as possible.
Linear paths?
What?
Linear paths?
Yes. Yeah. Going down a linear path, shooting things, and trying to make that one act of shooting things as fun as possible, instead of giving you more than just one thing to do.
Now, Genki, you said you didn't finish Super Metroid. Explain why you haven't.
Because I have not played much of the game at all. I have not had a chance to. And part of the reason for that is because
your girlfriend? That was a joke.
Yep. I didn't hear the joke.
I said your girlfriend, and then people laugh because they infer, like, oh, yeah, he does have a girlfriend. And that was the joke.
No, I couldn't hear you because I was talking. And
that's fine. Just when I'm talking. This part out.
I haven't played the game because I don't own it. I haven't found a copy of it anywhere. And when it comes to like finding a ROM that I can get to work, like on my PSP so I can play it on the go, I just can't find a good one that will actually run. So that's...
Can't find a ROM of Super Metroid?
That works on my...
We don't play ROMs on this. We don't play...
I'll send you one if you want it.
Guys, just want to announce
when it doesn't have like German subtitles and weird crap.
Yeah, no. Well, no. That's part of the game, man. That's part of the game.
No, Steve. He deletes it after 24 hours, right?
Oh yeah, I'll keep that after 24 hours. Come on.
He'll play through the whole game in one day.
It's possible.
And then he'll delete it.
Yeah, we don't steal games here.
It's legal that way. So
there go our jobs. Sorry about that, Bastion.
Now, we'll move into Bastion, because the reason why I thought Super Metroid is a good interlay talking about Bastion is because there's a lot of similar things in regards to ambience. Now, obviously, it's completely different. It's a post-apocalyptic world, but it doesn't feel like a post-apocalyptic world. That's the great part. It has this, how do I describe it? Majestic, playful, over-the-top feel that just makes you forget that maybe there's even this calamity while simultaneously reminding you of it. It's so different. I'm having trouble putting this into words, how much I enjoy and love this game. You only played the demo. Everyone else just played it extensively. Out of the demo, what was your main opinions? Why don't you buy this game?
Well, when I played it, I thought it was all right. I was hoping for a little bit more in terms of gameplay. I'm not saying it was terrible and not worth playing. It definitely seems like a game I would like to spend my time playing. It's just that part of the reason I haven't gotten it is because I just haven't had the money to get it, and I'm kind of holding out for a sale. It's something that's caught my eye, but not enough that I feel it's worth $15.
It's worth $15 there.
It
There
is.
you go. Go buy it.
It is definitely worth
Don't
$15.
eat this week. Buy Bastion instead.
If any game is worth $15 on Xbox Live, it is that one.
Yeah. So you should starve instead of not playing Bastion. That's what Ricky did.
Is it? Is that why he's not talking? He's dead now? He died from starvation?
But it was worth it.
Yep, because he got to play Bastion.
Thanks, Rick.
Fuck you, Ricky!
Ricky, do you have a retort for Genki? Thanks, Rick.
That's what I thought!
You're getting embarrassed right now, Ricky.
I don't know, would you say it was...
That's his final memory.
Was Bastion the best of the summer of arcade games?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. By a long, long margin.
It's not even debatable.
It is possibly the game of the year.
Yeah, once again.
Overall? Out of all the games, it's a better game than Portal 2, is what you're saying right now.
Definitely.
Arguably, yes.
I have a hard time believing that.
Well, you haven't played the game.
But even so, man, Portal 2 was brilliant.
That was really good.
It was.
Really good game.
This is also.
Yeah, you should play
it. All right, I will get it, and I will play it.
We'll report back on whether or not it's better than Portal 2 in your opinion. And when you say yes, we could all have fun.
And then when I say no, you can all cry.
That's what we'll do. We'll start sobbing uncontrollably because you didn't agree with our opinion on one game.
So yeah, all right, I'll go and I will get Bastion and I will try it. And then I'll report back and tell you guys if I enjoyed it and thought it was better than Portal 2 or not. But I do not think...
I don't want you to go through the entire game thinking, is this better than Portal 2? Like, start comparing the narrator to glass or something stupid like that.
I mean, anytime you do that, even if it is a good game, you're going to ruin it.
Yeah, don't compare games. Just play it and just talk to us about it, and then you can decide like 3 weeks from now if it's better than Portal or something. Let ruminate about it for a few weeks. No need to rush your opinion on a beautiful, extraordinary experience.
Okay.
I mean, plus it is a better game than Portal 2, so it's not like we're going to have this conversation.
Did you play Portal 2?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I own a fucking gaming website.
Unless, maybe Uncharted 3. Uncharted 3 could top Portal 2. That's the only...
There's like 1,200 games that are coming out that could be game of the year. I actually quote.
We're talking like at right now. The actual game of the year will probably happen in a few months, but...
Skyward Sword is coming out in a few months.
Crap. That is true. Man, there's a lot of good games coming out this year.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be a really good year for video games and interactive entertainment.
I think it always ends up being that way, though, right near the end of the year. Just all these really awesome games always seem to come out in the fall.
Well, what happens is there's this holiday called Christmas.
Really?
And it lines up, and the game companies try and line it up with that, because on Christmas everyone buys things that they don't need. There
should be like a game of the year before.
Yeah, I know Christmas is always the end of the year, and they make their games to come out, like the hot titles for Christmas time. But I was just saying, like, you were saying, well, this is going to be 2011, a really good year for video games. It's like, every year ends up being a very good year for video games.
Yeah, but this is a really good year, dude.
Well,
I hear what you're saying, but this one, wow.
Explain why this year is better than any other year for video games.
Let me just go to Wikipedia real quick and type in video games.
Well, see, the real reason that you think it is because we're at the point where none of these games have failed yet. We still think they're all going to be amazing.
Well, yeah, because when we
look back at the year, we see all the games that we thought were going to be amazing, but then sucked.
Yeah, but these games aren't going to suck. That's the main reason why we're all excited. Like, it's just games coming from franchises that we know don't suck. So, I mean, if Battlefield 3 winds up sucking, it'll be like the first major Battlefield game to suck ever. So, and if Modern Warfare 3 sucks, everyone will be happy. So it's a win there. Because that's what everyone seems to be rooting for, is for Modern Warfare 3 to be like the worst game of all time. Then America wins.
It doesn't even matter if it is good or not. People
It does. Yes, it does. What kind of statement is that? Does it matter if a game is good or not?
Well, no, because people are just against it now.
Yeah, well, people are stupid and they just hate
Unless
them
they did something radically different, no matter how good the game actually is, people are going to hate it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I hope not. It makes me not want to talk to people. They're just going to hate something for the sake of hating it. But Modern Warfare 3, they're just going to hate it because it looks really terrible. Everything they show just gets worse. I don't think they could show a worse Modern Warfare game.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's actually going to be good. I'm just putting that point out there. Wow, even if it is good, no one's going to like it.
I have not seen any footage from Modern Warfare 3. Does it really look that bad?
Dude, they're slamming it down everyone's throat like every weekend. Like, you just not turn on the computer.
You've actually seen like a lot of footage from it. You just think that it was Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. You just look at it and you think you're watching like a Modern Warfare 2 best of video.
I've seen some posts on websites about Modern Warfare 3, but I just have not taken any time to watch the footage. I didn't know there was that much footage, though. I thought there was only like a couple videos, maybe.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot on it. So yeah, get Bastion. It's a beautiful game. It's done right. Everyone, you gotta play these games. If you haven't played Super Metroid yet, or haven't even finished it yet, like Genki here, you gotta do it soon. It's a fantastic game, and it's a good interlay for Bastion. It's platforming, obviously different. It's a 2D platform, but they still follow the same general laws of mixing in ambiance with the basic gameplay, and it works so well. And both games are fantastic. Bastion is the best of recent 2D platformers, even though it does implement 3D stylings. For what it is, you have to play Bastion.
One
fantastic.
thing that one reason you probably weren't as wowed by it just by the demo is because it doesn't get into anything like the upgrade system or the different weapons all that much.
Yeah, if you don't get to play it, that's the part of the game that makes it so great. I mean, upgradable weapons is such a standard. And whenever a game has it, it always works. It's not like anyone doesn't want upgradable weapons. It's just an element of games that involve action combat. It's just fantastic.
Plus, it takes a little while for it to sink in that narrator has something to say for like literally everything you do.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, well, I've noticed that just from the demo. Like, a lot of the little things he just comments on it. And I really like the narrator. It's great. It's a great kind of storytelling mechanic. I think it was a cool idea.
Yeah, it's definitely the best part of the game. And look, if you like video games, if you care about what video games are,
if you don't like video games, why are you listening to this?
You should buy. I mean, people like video games for the wrong reasons all the time. So same way, like people like going to see Twilight and Vampire Sucks and shit like that. So it's not out of the range that people would like video games for the wrong reasons. But anyway, if you like video games for the right reasons and actually care about the content that's produced, pick up Bastion, because games like that deserve to be supported. And that's Lagged Out for this week. For Jared, Ricky, Genki, and myself. See you next week. We're going to have John Lovitz on the show, and you'll all enjoy it.